The Xtreme Bpm Tuesdays and Fridays, that's what we do on eJazz Radio. We get to talk to people that make the music. Monday to Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. we have the eJazz Mix, where we play most of the music, and then you can go and check out that playlist whenever we are done with the show. At the end of the day, we shall have the playlist of all the music we just played available for you. But we also have a playlist on Spotify that you can check out, okay, on the go. That is the eJazz Mix Top 100 New Music. So today on the Xtreme Bpm, we have someone that has been on the show, on the eJazz Mix. The music has been on for almost 2 years now. This is the third year, but she hasn't been on the Xtreme Bpm. Luna from Timebelle is on the show. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
It's nice to be here. Nice to finally meet you. We are meeting each other now on another social platform, but because we've seen each other on Instagram, and now Zoom is like another level, you know?
Yeah. I think Zoom is
so I'm good to be here.
Yeah, I think Zoom is more like let's go out and meet on like, you know how you would go out and meet people for drinks, or you go for coffee and stuff like that. I think that's the way Zoom is now. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like the most personal contact you can have on a digital platform.
Yeah, so you would say nice to meet you. So
nice to meet you too. I'm glad to talk to you today.
Yeah, glad to have you on the show. So you're from the band Timebelle, and you've had a lot of amazing music on that we played on the show. You have a brand new one called 96, right? Yes. That recently just came out. But we shall start from how it all started. So talk to me about music and how that got started for you.
So from the beginning, you mean my whole career?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, basically, I was just singing in the house all the time with a broom in my hand, you know, in front of the mirror. And my mom saw me, and she understood that I have a talent for singing. So she took me to singing classes. The professor there was very impressed. And well, then it's quite the normal trajectory, I would say, because then you would go to musical competitions. And I went to many. I remember the first one, I didn't win anything at all. And I was quite depressed. I was a child that wanted to sing, but then my voice was not recognized. So I was quite, in a bad time for a while. And then I started to go again, and all the contests I won the trophies. Basically, that was the first time was the only time when I didn't win absolutely anything. And from the second time, doors opened for me, and I was very appreciated, and I was gaining much more self-confidence, because it's hard. I don't know, there are artists who are very confident, and there are artists like me who always struggle, you know. And I think, I mean, this is my personal opinion, but I think even those who want to appear confident, they are probably the least confident of all.
Yeah, it's a facade, right? You have to wear this armor, and you're like, hey, I am who I say I am, and that's it. But deep down, you know, you really are shy, or probably not confident enough, or you don't think you're good enough.
Exactly. And as an artist, it's difficult, because you have to show yourself all the time, and people judge you because you just put your music out there, and people talk about it. They like it or they don't, and you have to receive that those critiques and that judgment. And it's not always easy, of course. So from that point, I started to believe more in myself, and then I had many musical projects. As a teenager, very interesting. Like, I was very. Do you know that music genre, crunk?
Yeah, with Soulja Boy with actually crunk more. It's Lil Jon, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, Sierra style, like in the 2005 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had a band, a crunk band with 2 boys, and I would be this badass. was so funny. It was so funny, really. Okay, and then after this, I started my own project back in Romania because I'm originally from Romania,
Yeah.
and it was a whole different direction that project that I had. It was like a dance music project.
Yes.
I was like portrayed as this queen of the Amazon jungle, so to say. It was very, very interesting. And then I even I received a part in a TV show, the bad girl part as well. Even though I have a face of I don't have the face of somebody who's mean, but I received that part. So it's anyway. And then in 2014, I met the guys from Timebelle, because back then Timebelle consisted of many more members. So it was an instrumental band. There was an accordionist, a bass player, a drummer, a guitar player. So there were 5 guys in the band, and they were looking for a girl. They wanted to participate in this Eurovision Song Contest. They had the song, but they didn't have the voice. So they found me. I recorded the song. They liked how it sounded. We met, but we met directly at the shooting of the video. So it was very, very funny, very interesting. And from that point on, we participated in the competition in 2015. That was the first time, but we didn't win. We only got to the 2nd place, which was so close, really.
Yeah.
When you are so close to winning, it's even more,
Yeah.
so close. But
Yeah.
The fact that the public voted for us so much that year, it motivated us to participate again. So we did that in 2017, and we won with Apollo, with the song. So that is the point, that's the starting point, I believe, for Timebelle and for writing music in this group and prioritizing this project, because I had also my own things, as I said, as a solo artist. But things changed, and I got more and more involved in Timebelle, and yeah, this is it became that's the point of becoming the most important project for me.
And that's interesting. So you represented Switzerland at Eurovision Contest,
yes,
in 2017 and won. And that was in Kiev, in Ukraine, right?
that was in Kiev, yes.
Yeah, and
yeah.
So now the interesting part is this: anyone that listens to your music, you have diverse languages in the song. In the songs, you'll come up with an English song. Then talk to me about how many languages you can write in.
Well, I might say I'm a good writer in English and Spanish, but not in my own language. It's so, in Romanian, it's hard for me to write lyrics. I really don't get it. So I write only in Spanish and English, and in German I don't write, because it's a hard language even to just kick in.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are, and these are the main languages we used in our project, I think. There was a song, Beautiful People, in which we collaborated with Alizé Oswald, who is a French singer from Switzerland, and she sang in French. So that added a bit more, I don't know how to say, flavor to the languages we used in our songs. But on an average, that was it: English and Spanish.
Yeah, and when you're starting with Timebelle, you had more members in, and you are working in a group, and you came in as the artist to do the vocals and to be the lead singer. But talk to me about how that transition went on, and now you literally have to almost do songs by yourself, writing, and then under this Timebelle project. How did that transition go for you? Or is it because you had that experience as a solo artist before?
You mean in writing music
Yeah,
particularly?
yeah, because when you came in, you had other people that were playing instruments, so there were many more members in the band. And
Yeah.
now it narrowed down to almost you doing the music now, the creative side of Timebelle by yourself.
It didn't come very easily, I have to say, because before in my solo project, I didn't write my own music. I had a musical producer who would write the music for me. We had this particular genre that we would follow, and he would do that for me. And I honestly, I didn't even know that I can write. I was playing a bit at home, and I was recording myself, and I was trying to write a few things, and I thought, well, this is quite interesting, but it was so different from what I was doing in the mainstream. It was very, very different. Like I was playing with jazz and, blues, and I would mix this kind of old school genres, and it was very, very different. So for a while, when I came in this band in Timebelle, I didn't have the courage to write, because I thought, oh, I have these musicians around me, like this instrumentalists. How do I say?
Yeah,
they know so much music, and I didn't dare, to be honest. I didn't have the confidence to do that for a while, and then I started easily, and slowly but surely, I started to write basically all the songs for Timebelle. And we changed the genre every 2 years or so, because we, with the Latino phase, it happened because of a trip to Ibiza in 2020. So we went to Ibiza, and I was so impressed, and I was moved by the culture there. I don't know what happened, and then I started to write this Latino music, which kept for 2 years, and then the pandemic kind of affected us in a way. It made us a bit sad, because we didn't have any concerts, and we were very nostalgic. I was nostalgic and melancholic, and so I started to write ballads. And one of those ballads is now 96, that we released a week ago. It's exactly 1 week ago.
The interesting part is when you say the Latina part, the Latina phase of. So why did you get out of this?
That's precisely it, because I was very affected by the pandemic. In the first time of the pandemic, it was very nice for me, because I thought the world slowed down, and I thought that was the natural pace in which the world should move in. But then we didn't have any activity, we didn't have concerts, so that kind of depressed me, and not having so much activity, it makes you spend a lot of time by yourself and think. And when you think, you go very deep into your heart and into your emotions and into your darkest corners of your soul. So yeah, you basically start to write very sad songs. One of them will be released in a few months, basically. So that's why it changed, because something inside changed.
Oh yeah, so because I read and I read somewhere that you really you're really strong on the feeling that if you're going to perform something, it really has to come from you. You really have to feel it. And so then what happens in instances, let's say when someone writes a song for you and probably it's not your experience, then how do you approach that?
It's not always easy, but basically you have to be an actor and to really imagine yourself in that situation. or to adapt it in your mind to a certain event in your life that would be very close to what the song is talking about, and then you have more chances to feel it and to express it better, you know.
Yeah, and with the Latina phase of you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You did the video for, what's the single that you did the video for during the pandemic?
Which one? Which?
I think it was no.
No te vayas de aquí.
Yeah, talk to me about
Oh,
that.
yeah, that was filmed last year in July, and it was filmed with an iPhone.
But the video looks great though.
It's amazing what you can do with an iPhone and that thing that keeps the camera stable. I don't know I don't know. I don't remember the name now. Emmanuel, my colleague, filmed the video.
Yeah.
So we mixed pleasure and business, because we went to the Dominican Republic, and basically we thought, we have this song, why don't we film something for it? We have these amazing beaches and this amazing view, why don't we use this? So that was it. And Emmanuel did a very good job. He was always on the phone with our video director, Leonid, who gave him like indications. Oh, use that. You should use that angle. Make sure that the light comes from la 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 la. You know, these kind of details that would make the video look even better. So yeah, that what it's and this is the exactly the same thing we will do in April next month, because we go to Mexico and we have a holiday, but we will also shoot 3 videos. But this time our director comes with us, so we are on more sure hands.
And so what were you talking about in the song?
Oh, it's a very romantic song. So basically it's about a girl who finds herself in a period of her life when she doesn't want to have anything to do with love. And but then all of a sudden this man comes and really blows her mind and really charms her with his way of kissing her and looking at her, and he basically changes the game for her, so she just forgets anything she thought she should do.
Yeah.
And she just gives in.
Interesting. So who is this
Yeah.
fan? I'm kidding. Let's move.
Well, sometimes, you know, you write from imagining things.
I wish I'd keep it at imagining. Okay. And go check that out. So with the brand new one that you have, that is 96, what is so special about 96? Are you talking about the year 96?
So 96, it's a much more complex story with it, because basically we wrote the song very fast, immediately after the conflict in Ukraine started, so to say.
Yeah.
And I was shocked by the events, probably like most of us were, and especially because we went to Kiev. We spent 2 weeks there because of Eurovision, and we tasted their culture and their characters and their ways of being.
Yeah.
And the city is amazing. I'm not saying that if it wasn't amazing, it should be destroyed. I'm not saying that, but we were fascinated. It's Kiev is very beautiful, and the people are very welcoming, and the food is fantastic. And now the town is disappearing. So then I started to write this very, very sad melodic line, and the lyrics are basically about a child who doesn't find himself in this world. He doesn't fit in this world anymore.
Yeah.
it's a world of you should, you could, you must, and he that's the way the song starts anyway. You should, you could, you must do that, and it's a pressure that basically makes him retire more and more from society. And 96 is called 96, and we used this year because well, especially because I personally have very personal memories about that year. It's this is the way I personally relate to it because let's say it's the last year of my childhood, so to say. There is a point as a child when you have to say goodbye to your childhood, and
What
96 was
what do you mean by that?
like it's that sadness we have as becoming grown-ups, that you realize I'm not a child, you are not a child anymore, and you feel the world in a different way, and you realize that you are changing and you are not that child anymore. And it was the last year of being a child for me, and it was the last happy childhood year, so to say. That's more at a personal level. And regarding to the conflict from Ukraine, it's actually the year when Ukraine gave up the last nuclear weapon in exchange from Russia's promise not to aggress them ever,
Yeah.
which happened. So,
Yeah. It's
a
great.
month ago. Yeah. So that's why I used 96, because it's historical. It's also historically related to an event that took place a while ago, and basically the child that became an adult wants to go back to 96 and fix that mistake. He now realizes as an adult that, oh, I was so naive to believe you, that you would never hurt me, you would never attack me, you would never aggress my country, so to say. And he wants to go back and fix that and not take his nuclear, not give up his last nuclear weapons and so on. That was metaphorically means his power, like his personal power.
Yeah. And 96, guys, go check that out. It's available from Timebelle. And so now, since you are in the zone of writing these sad ballads, are you putting together a project, or these are just few singles that you're having out in that phase?
I didn't understand the question, sorry.
I was like, since you're in this phase of making ballads and you're having sad songs, you say there's another one that is coming out soon. So are you putting out these few singles, or there's like a project that you're putting together, whether an EP or an album?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be an EP, basically, because there are 3 songs, 3 ballads that we are releasing in this in the very near future.
Yeah.
And these other 3 songs that we will film in Mexico, it's either an EP or an album. We didn't decide yet, basically. But to be honest, I am so bad with organizing. That's why I'm not the manager, you see. That's why I am not the manager.
Yeah. You just create and create and create and let someone else organize everything.
That works best for me, I have to admit it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's good, like in a part where you're collaborating, where you know where your strength lies, and then what the other person brings to the table, what you bring to the table, and you just do your part. The other person play their part, and I think that brings the teamwork in a much better position.
Yeah, it's like a democracy. Our band is a democratic country in which each member has its own role, and he has to bring something to the table, as you said. And as long as you find those perfect roles, then everything goes smoothly. And that was not easy from the beginning. So we struggled with this, I have to say. And then somebody, a friend of ours, said exactly what you said. Just try to fix a role for each of you, and then things will go smoothly. And it happened. And that started actually not a long time ago, like almost 3 years ago.
Yeah,
And you can see that because we have released a lot of music since then.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
released a lot. I think you've really released a lot of music now, and it has been consistent. Because even now we just have 96, but you're talking about another single that you're bringing out soon too.
Yes, exactly. And we have also a symphonic version for 96 that will come soon. We have a symphonic version for Apollo as well, which basically it was recorded with a string quartet. It will sound amazing.
Yeah, and
put it out there.
yeah, but I'm happy that now you are in a position where the roles are defined and both of you can just keep moving, because that's the challenge of working with a lot of people, especially with talent. When everyone, talent usually doesn't translate into communicating things better too. Much as your artists, the people that usually know how to express them words, feelings, and stuff on words are not usually sometimes the best communicators. That's why you see sometimes people don't take feedback well.
I'm the worst. I don't know how to communicate, really. It's not my strongest feature.
Yeah.
And I probably, I'm an introvert. I was actually watching a video a few days ago. A psychologist was talking about the strongest influential men from this century, and he was talking about Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, and he said, what do these guys have in common? And the person he asked didn't know what to say, and he said, they are all introverts. They are not alpha men who are screaming loud and just being very present. They are very introvert people. And I was like, wow, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to fix my video because I realized that I had frozen a bit. But that's,
I saw.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing, and that's usually why even sometimes there are misunderstandings that's why you see it's, if someone is not from the creative side of things, usually can't easily work with creatives, because there is a certain way you need to communicate with them. There are certain things you need to understand. If someone is not feeling in the zone to do something, you can't make them do it. It doesn't work that way. It's like when you're doing accounting, that, hey, I need this report by Monday. It doesn't work. It doesn't work the same way in creating.
No, it doesn't. You don't work like in a factory. You go to the factory and write a song about, I don't know, feeling sad because your mother left you when you were 11 years old. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't absolutely work like that. So that's something that people need to understand with creatives. Even when people are giving feedback, and the same thing with radio, like when someone sends a song to you, it's always, I know for some people it's easy to say, this is a bad song, I don't like that. There's no such thing as that. It might not be for you, but there might be other people that might appreciate it. So it's okay to say, hey, I don't think that will work for me. And you go with what works for you, other than, tearing down something,
Yeah, but it's hard in the beginning because you are very exposed, but then you get used to it. You become you become a thicker skin, so to say. And actually it's very ironic, because the more I put myself out there with this song, for example, the more the negative feedback the less the negative impact doesn't critics or so don't affect me anymore. It's because I know that what's coming from here, it's very personal and it's from me, and you cannot judge me for that. You don't have that power over me.
Absolutely. You don't. Yeah, and I wish people can do that. When I wish a lot of people, because sometimes people that are new to the business that are doing music, I wish they can understand that sometimes, as long as you're comfortable with what you're putting out, if someone doesn't like it, it doesn't mean everyone doesn't like it. There's someone else that will
Yeah,
like it.
yeah. Mm. And it's I don't want people, very talented people are very sensitive in the beginning, as I was, and which is perfectly normal. But just don't give up. Go, continue to do that, if because one bad opinion doesn't define your talent or your ability to write or sing. It doesn't. You just keep going until you find your own niche and your own yeah, own direction.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a new single coming out soon. You're shooting videos for 96 and two other singles soon.
Oh, the video for 96 is out. Is
Oh, it's
out.
out. Oh, it's
All
out. I hadn't checked that out. I need to check that out.
out. Yeah, it's basically it shows a very apocalyptic scene uh, representing the war in Ukraine. So you will see apocalyptic images about destroyed cities and a very dark, tensioned atmosphere in the video. Yeah,
Yeah, I hope that
of
also. Yeah, you would hope that that also gets sorted soon, because that has gone on for a while. You know, I
yeah,
wish people can get to a resolution and things move on, because now, you know, it's
yeah.
2022.
I hope.
Come on, guys.
Exactly.
We're just from
Exactly.
a pandemic, and now see what we are getting into.
Oh, yeah, we are living in very, very strange times, and technology doesn't necessarily help because it makes things move even faster. And our brains, our human brains, are not used to dealing with very fast changes, So you have to deal with the pandemic and then with the war and then technology that makes everything even faster. We are not humans anymore as body organic bodies. We are this audio, visual bodies with fingertips,
Yeah,
and
that.
you understand. And you also have to adapt to that. There are so many changes. The society is really changing too
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, and sometimes usually this causes a lot of trouble. This
Yeah,
when they meet a keyboard, that can be that also causes a lot of trouble a lot of times, most of the times.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so guys, the new single that is out right now is 96. Go check that out. Check out the video. We are playing that next on the Xtreme Bpm on eJazz Radio. So what else are you working on this year, as you now, as you and Timebelle, what are you working on this
Mhm.
year, that apart from the few singles that we are going to get in the next few days?
Um, me and Emmanuel, we have an interesting idea, but it's more at a national level because we want to make a sort of a project, a symphonic project that takes Balkanic music and puts it in a in a more classical version, so to say. And this means that we should work we will work with a symphonic orchestra, and this is very interesting to me. I've never done this, so this will be definitely something to wait for. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
this is
nice.
one of the this is one of the projects that we are dealing, and we are in the phase of construction actually, and we are choosing now the songs. For it it will be probably a number of 10 songs, um, and then we will implement these into concerts around Switzerland, with the symphonic orchestra. So that's the plan, but this is very different from the mainstream
Yeah,
area. Yes, and then I have to say, for the moment, I'm experiencing a very different vibe, a very different musical vibe, because lately I've been writing songs that have a sort of a punk rock vibe to them. So probably the next thing that we are going to release is in that direction. So I don't know
Yeah.
I'm I don't know. My brain just wants that, so my heart wants that, and I'm following them. Yeah.
I think that's a good thing with even the times we're living in. Much as technology sometimes can be trouble, but I think it has given everyone the freedom to actually be free and create what they want, because you can easily put it out there and have the niche or people, I hate that word by the way, the people that like that come for it, and you don't really need to go for a certain sound. You don't need to chase this. You don't need to say I'm going to chase for a radio thing, or no, you just have, you can create now easily and freely, and you can meet people wherever you meet the audience before they actually meet you, because you put out the music and they get to the music before they actually meet you.
Yes, exactly. From this point of view, it's really good times. Yeah, we have to take into consideration also the positive aspects.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a pessimist. That's why I often forget about the good side of things. You know, I'm a very pessimistic person. I have a very negative view on the world overall, and yeah, when people like you bring, you know, in front the positive aspects, I'm like, yeah, he's right. I should tell myself that more often.
Yeah, probably you should. Yeah, you should. So nonetheless, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to play 96 as we get out of here. But first, how can people find Timebelle, where the social media links and all that?
Absolutely. So you will find Timebelle on Instagram, simple Timebelle, on Facebook as well. YouTube is Timebelle Official. Subscribe to our channel because we upload pretty much every month a new video or a new cover or a new song. And then you can follow us on Spotify. Something very important about 96 is the fact that because we are so personally related to Ukraine and what happens there, we decided to donate all the money from streaming 96. So if you want to be a part of this help that we want to offer to the refugees and to the victims of the war from Ukraine, please buy the song from Spotify because all your money actually go in that direction. So yeah,
Which is amazing. That's good.
Yeah, it's the best way in which we as artists can help a bit. You know, it's like we are also actually Emmanuel is building an association now, and he's raising funds also for the mothers who had to flee Ukraine, mothers with children, and he's gathering money. He's raising funds for them to actually give them in order to buy things that wouldn't normally be given to them by the authorities. You know, because you also need like, actual money for different things. So these are the two ways in which we are trying to help 96 buy it and the money go there, and then this association that is raising money for them.
I think it's amazing. And you know, a lot of people usually go into tragedies and take advantage of that, because I was looking at one of the news stories, I think about 2 weeks ago, or almost a week ago, and there is a syndicate in China that steals babies that was caught at the borders. They were busy. There is a baby they had stolen. So now, if they caught that, the question becomes how many have actually been stolen, because even the children's hospital was later, you know, anyway, it's disgusting. Okay, guys, it's disgusting. So I think with that needs to, the moment we need, I think we need to find a way of, and I like that there are platforms like this that get to connect people. And I think I truly believe this, that the next group of people, the next generation of people will totally be different from this, because we are more connected now. Now it's, you see, I'm here, you over there, we are already connected. So it doesn't create that stigma of you only seeing things from your own view and only the neighbor, what is around you. Now it becomes a world view. So the world is now connected, and there are many people that can easily have access to each other. Unlike a lot of the least part, by the way, of this, or the older generation that is remaining, that wasn't exposed to other people, and they're only like conservative in a certain way, in a certain area. I think that will go out. I think that will go out with the next generation. That, and I think that's why they are holding on too much, because they know that is totally going out. You know, even you see that even with racism, you see the younger people are not more into it. The older people are trying to bring it to the forefront. It's not the younger people that actually promote it. Yeah, because now we are connected now. The younger people are connected with everyone from different cultures. They are getting to know each other, whether it's through music, whether it's through films, all the creative arts, and now people are connected to each other.
So you are an optimist.
Yeah, I always see. I like seeing things from progression, and I as long as we hold on to the progression and keep on to the things that might sound good, even if we are in a bad situation, I think that helps take away what you would have done if it was only negative that was running through your mind.
Well, it makes me happy to hear such a perspective, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And also it makes sense in the case of the war between Russia and Ukraine, because a lot of Russians have been fooled and brainwashed about the war in Ukraine. Like they tell people it doesn't exist, but because of technology, you see it's also a good side, because people actually know what's going on. So you cannot fool all of them, like in the periods of the communism in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah, you can't. You really can't, because I've had artists from Russia that are even younger on, and even recently now, you ask them and they're like, yeah, we're not happy about this. We are really not happy. It's just that we don't have the much freedom to talk about it, but we are not happy about this. And that kind of sheds some light on the situation, and you're like, okay,
exactly.
At least someone, But nonetheless, guys, go support the Sing 196. So you see why it's important to support it. Go support it, and make sure that we hope that this can get resolved as soon as possible, so that people can go back to their lives and live freely in their country. And let's all do what we can, or whatever we can do, to make sure that we can advocate for a better place that we can live in. So thank you so much for joining me today, and it's been great meeting you finally after what?
Thank you.
Many years
2 years.
2 years of interaction.
I'm glad we connected like this, and next time we can meet again and talk about the next songs and so on. It's nice to talk about music. It was such a good interview to actually talk about music. It's always a bit of fresh air. Yes.
Yeah. You didn't want us to talk. I'm kidding. You don't want us to talk about, okay, so now tell me, are you seeing someone right now?
Yeah, or have you ever dyed your hair?
Yeah. So how is it living in Switzerland as someone from Romania? And in the next 5 years, where do you see yourself?
Oh no. I'm an artist. I don't have plans. I just live.
Yeah.
I live.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy now. But thank you so much, and glad we were able to do this.
Me too.
Yeah, and looking forward to more from you. Okay.
Absolutely. See you next time.
All right. See you.
All right. Ciao. Bye.
Bye.